Friday, Douglas County Sheriff deputies served a Board of Mental Health warrant on a Mark LaRue, area of 83rd and Hinckley Street. Upon our arrival, he initially met with deputies and retreated into his residence and said he wasn't coming out. We'd also told at that time that he had weapons in the house by family members. All the family members left the residence and they let us know that he was the only one inside. Our SWAT team, our ESU, arrived at about 7 o'clock yesterday evening and set up a perimeter. Later that evening, we tried to retrieve a robot that we had set up closer to the house to get a better look inside and do it safely. The robot got lodged inside the residence. We sent deputies in to try and unlodge it, dislodge it. Mr. LaRue fired several shots, striking deputies' shield. No deputies were injured. However, the shield was struck twice. Deputies retreated from the residence, set up a perimeter, and continued to try and talk with Mr. LaRue to get him to come out. He did not engage in any dialogue with us for most of the night. We were here all night and into this morning. At about 1 o'clock in the morning, we began deploying gas inside the house in an effort to force him out of the residence. We made several attempts. Didn't seem to have an effect on him, and he did not come out of the house. At about 4 p.m. today, officers from the Omaha Police Department, Douglas County Sheriff's Office deployed some distraction devices inside the residence in an effort to disorient him. After they did that, Omaha Police sent a dog inside the residence, and Mr. LaRue shot and killed the dog. About 6:45 p.m. this evening, Mr. LaRue finally surrendered to officers and deputies without incident. This was a joint operation between the Douglas County Sheriff's Office, the Omaha Police Department. We had assistance from the Omaha Fire Department and the FBI. I'll take any questions.
Did he shoot the robot then?
I don't know if he shot the robot or hit the robot. He shot in the direction of deputies several times, maybe upwards of 7 times.
Do you know what kind of weapons he was using?
We're still investigating that. We know that he had handguns. We believe that he had at least 1 rifle in the residence, but that's still under investigation.
Do you know the name of the dog that passed away today?
Cobus. Omaha Police Department will be issuing a release giving you more information about Cobus.
Was there any use of water in the residence at all? Flooding, anything like that as a tactic?
Yeah, as time went on, one of the tactics that we used was to introduce water into the residence. We had cut power, turned gas off in an effort to try and make it uncomfortable for him to finally come out. I think in the end, the water finally got to him, and he was tired of being cold and wet and decided to come out at that time.
How common is it to send
This was a long, protracted standoff. They typically don't last more than 24 hours. Typically, we're able to set up some dialogue with the person. In this case, he didn't want to talk, and for most of the night, he would not talk. And so it was limiting our options on how to get him to come out peacefully.
Did you have any line of communication to him?
We had introduced several what we call throw phones into the residence so that he could talk to us, and if he wouldn't talk to us, he could at least hear us. We were giving him commands throughout the night. He ignored most of them and just simply wouldn't talk with us.
Difficult, I'm sure.
It was very difficult. These officers and deputies were out here all night in the cold. It was freezing, as you can see,
Yeah.
and they did an excellent job to have this thing come to an end as peacefully as it did.
So did he walk out, or did they go in and retrieve him?
He finally walked out of the residence.
Front door, back door, do you know?
I do not know that yet.
is he being brought to corrections, or is he being
He'll be taken in for medical treatment, and from there, he's facing several felony charges. We'll have to get that sorted out with the county attorney, but right now he's going to be treated for his medical condition, and then we'll go from there.
shooting and killing a police K-9 is going to be a pretty serious charge?
I believe that's a felony. Yeah, I believe that's a separate crime.